We just had a sad along, now a hate along, yes. Hopefully, is Arsenal versus Real Madrid the next game? That can be the happy along. So we've gone through the entire spectrum of emotions. That must be both got to be losing, yeah. Trying to find what channel it's on. Just trying to get the game up. Okay, got that sorted. Corner to Man United by the looks of it. Headed out. So I think this should be working better now. Twitch is fine. And this is fine. CPU is doing nothing. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. So Man City going from right to left, although for you it's the other way. Recycling the play, but nil-nil, haven't missed anything. Apparently Isak gave us the green light for a transfer move. I heard that. He seems to want to come to us more than Arsenal. So he's definitely got a brain. We can definitely give him that. Because he wants to pick the better team. It'd be interesting to see whether we fork up the money that he's going to cost. Oh, he gave the green light to Arsenal too. Oh my God, he's a bit of a slag then. He's just gonna take anything. Yeah, green light to you, green light to you. No commitment. But yeah, I mean it's encouraging. It's encouraging. I read somewhere that he said he's more likely to come to us than them. So that's a positive. I just don't know if we'll pay the money. Because I've heard like 120 million, 150 million. Even if we sell like 200 million pounds worth of players, I'm not convinced that our ownership would pay that much for one player, but let's see. We did it with Van Dijk when we sold Coutinho. So if we sell Nunes, if Diaz leaves, potentially if Simicast leaves, potentially if Harvey Elliott leaves, that's another one. We'll have quite a bit of money, so it's possible. Jota as well. Jota's another one. 80 million plus Jota. Kwanzaa's another one who they're apparently quite interested in. So it's entirely possible. I think it's entirely possible. And they claim we are not looking at Isak, but that's a move we always do. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I have my doubts as to whether we'll kind of pay the money. Players like Cunha seem kind of more like Liverpool type of signings, but let's wait to see. Let's wait and see what happens. We've got Matty Rob 08 in the chat. Hello, Matty. Hope you're good. What a shocking game before. Yeah. Disgusting and shocking to the point where we did a watch-along for the Liverpool Fulham game, and I was like, you know what, I need to go outside for half an hour. I need to go outside and just take a break from what I've seen. So yeah, it wasn't all that great. It's a bit concerning as well. I think we might have lost 3 of the last 4, unless I'm mistaken. So there's the Fulham game that we've lost. There's the PSG game. There's the Newcastle game. We won this one, but there's also the Plymouth game not too long ago. Snus says we always tend to not be interested, and then boom, behind the scenes we do it. You could be right there. We need a Isak type of player. Yeah, I think we need a elite centre forward, because based on what we saw today, if Salah doesn't do it, then we're a bit kind of stuck. Pixelated Suits back. Hello, hope you're good, mate. Matty Rob 08 says, honestly, mate, I hate to say it, but Robertson is done in this team, and Konate is absolutely shocking, but no one talks about that. Yeah, we were kind of fully losing our mind at Robertson earlier. One of the goals where I think he passed it straight back to the Fulham player. So Van Dijk played it out to Robertson, as you saw, passed it straight back to the Fulham player. Fulham player then took a shot and it deflected off Robertson's back and went in. Another opportunity that kind of comes to mind is where I think Elliot played so Harvey played a perfect through ball over the top, and Robertson just had to run onto it, but he's so slow running now. And I was like, mate, the ball's going to go out. I can see the ball slowly going out, and Robertson couldn't catch up. Like, the ball's going like this, and Robertson's going like this. I'm like, mate, run! Get the fucking ball! And then the ball just went out. It was just annoying. Yeah, three of the last 4. And Konate, Konate hasn't been playing too well either. He did get substituted off, and I think we did look a bit better kind of when he went off. And I hate how bad Salah has been, but no one wants to mention that. Yeah, it's not ideal. I think the entire team's been kind of playing kind of badly at the moment. I think Salah's form has dipped a bit at the kind of compared to the start of the season. But equally, I'm like, we also wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Salah. So Salah, I can give like somewhat of a pass to, if you know what I mean. Whereas Robertson's just been rubbish the entire season. So I find it easier to hate on Robertson. We did the same thing with Van Dijk. Snus says, all of a sudden we weren't interested, and boom, he held up his shirt by the Christmas tree. There was also the whole saga before that. I don't know if you remember, but when we were in for Van Dijk, we actually got caught tapping him up, and then we released a statement on the website saying we're very sorry, Southampton, we're very sorry for what we've done, and we have ended all interest in the player. And I remember reading that and be like, oh, that's a shame. And then you're right, at Christmas he ended up signing. Yeah, so Salah got 54 GA. That's bloody amazing. That's more than I thought. I thought it was like the 40 region, but I mean, if it's 54, that's pretty amazing. And then Matty Rob 08 says, I know, mate, but it's frustrating. I think we have to hold players accountable when they drop so much in a season. Don't get me wrong, we've had a decent season. When players drop this bad, they have to be accountable. Yeah, it's not great. It reminds me a bit of kind of last season, where first half was amazing, Middle was still pretty good, and then in the end we dropped off. We seem to be kind of dropping off again, but thankfully it's happening a lot later this time. You know what I mean? Thankfully, it looks like the league is already dropped off. Is already in the bag. Sorry, but if it was earlier, I'd be like, yeah, I'm worried. But it'll be interesting to see how the new ownership structure tries to kind of rectify this in the summer. I think they've got big plans, so we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens there. Um, and then Snus says, of course we can criticize players like Salah. He was meh. 27 plus 17 in the Premier League alone. Wow. But 54 in all comps. Yeah, he has played well, but equally, I feel like sometimes with Salah, there's like staunch defenders of him. Like I'm not even like even that's a bit annoying, if you know what I mean. The people who say that Salah can do no wrong and is perfect, is like, even I'll admit, like, some games he goes missing, and a fair few of those goals are penalties as well. Um, I'd say I'm somewhere in the middle of the road, but definitely more on the positive side, 100% compared to kind of the negative side. Um, and this is why we need another to step up. You're right. You're right about that, Snus. Um, and it'd be interesting to see who we target in the summer. I think this will be one of the kind of busiest summers for Liverpool in a long time. Um, and I think part of the reason for that is in the summer we didn't sign anybody. Uh, I'm not counting Chiesa. In the winter before that, no, hold on. Yeah. In January, sorry, we didn't sign anybody. In the summer, we didn't sign anybody. And the January before that, we didn't sign anybody. So we've had 3 windows of not buying anyone. And I think the new kind of ownership structure is going to want to put their mark on the team. Because I feel like they still kind of feel like it's still Jurgen Klopp's team, and we want our own fresh start. So I think it's going to be an interesting summer. I don't think it will be like previous summers where nothing happens for a while. Um, and then Matty Rob 08 says, it's tough to say, but Slot has been making too many mistakes over the last few games. Like, I know rotation is needed and stuff, but game management has been horrendous for too long now. Yeah, it hasn't been... like, at the start of the season, I thought, oh wow, it's going perfect. Like, it's going amazing. Like, rotation is perfect. Tactics are perfect. Last few games, it hasn't been going so well. So I'm going to kind of hope to see that improves. I think another area where a lot of people kind of criticize the manager is kind of with respect to repeatedly starting the same players and not giving other players a chance. I don't know if he feels like it's because it's not his team, so he only trusts a few people. So I'm hoping that in the summer, when he buys his own players, to a certain degree, like I know at Liverpool, it's not the manager who decides by themselves, but I'm hoping when he buys his own players to a certain degree, we'll see more rotation next year, and less kind of drop off. Pixelated suits a good point, Rob. I'd say lots of the PSG game was the players being too tired to carry it out. Yeah, they did look quite jaded. I remember Pixelated suits. Gravenberch looked very tired in particular. And that's kind of what irks me a little bit. Like, Gravenberch is amazing, but there's no cover for him. You know what I mean? And this is the thing that Liverpool always do. Like, we get an amazing player like Fabinho, and then we run the guy into the ground. And then 5 years later, we're like, yeah, Fabinho's legs is gone. And it's like, come on, let's get some cover for Fabinho, aka let's get some cover for Gravenberch whilst he's still energetic. So I'm hoping the club acts on that in the summer. Snus says we had 3 individual error: Robertson, Konate, and Van Dijk. Don't blame Salah for that. Slot has been a bit naive. Yes, yeah, I think he has been a bit naive to a certain degree. I am willing to give him a pass to a certain degree because I think it is still his first season. He is still quite young, even though he doesn't look very young. I think it's the bold look, but yeah, this season, like, my thinking on this was like let's just let Slot settle. Let him settle into a new country, to a new league, and let's see what happens. So I'm delighted that it looks like he's going to win the Premier League, but equally, I think you're right. We should also be able to kind of criticize what we think isn't quite ideal. Because like if you saw a helicopter like stuck in a tree, you'd say, I think the pilot kind of messed up there. So you're entitled to say from a football perspective, I think the managers messed up a bit there. Wrong, Matty Rob 08, wrong subs, wrong starters. It's kind of like Klopp towards the end, refusing to change his system and playing players in the wrong position to keep the system. We did see that at the end with Klopp, where Gakpo was playing up front. Kind of when Firmino was coming out of the team, he was trying to turn Gakpo into like a Firmino regen. And then when that didn't work, he started playing Gakpo in midfield. So I hope Slot doesn't repeat those kind of same mistakes. Snus says, I would not put the blame on Salah. He is 10,000. I was going to say, is that 100? Is that 1,000? Or is that 10,000? So I had to count the zeros. He's 10,000 times better than any other forward in our team. Yeah, he has basically carried us this season. And that makes the whole kind of contract discussion all the more concerning. Like, if he goes in the summer, like, I like Gakpo, I like Diaz, but we'll be kind of screwed next season unless they replace him. Matty Raboway, 100%. We can't completely blame Salah, but when the game is run around him for so long, and then he's getting isolated, it exposes the lack of quality from the rest of the team. It does. We do need the other to kind of step up. I think Snus has made a good point that Salah tends to have kind of 2-3 players on him, but also that reinforces the need for the other players to kind of step up. Because if Salah's got 2-3 players on him, those 2-3 players, they must come from somewhere. So wherever the gaps are, hopefully those other players can make use of the gaps. Matty Rob 08, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro. We need to rework his system so he can be more free or play around other players. Yeah, I think it's a case of having trust in other players and having confidence in other players. What I'm hoping is when Slot gets his own players in the summer, they'll be his own guys, so then he'll have more faith in them. And therefore we'll see more rotation and we'll see more accountability on the other players, so that we don't have a repetition of this year. Sinus says, I will bring back my world-class players. Rest, I don't give an F. If they can't step up, then they're not Liverpool level. I think that's a fair point. Speaking of Liverpool level, Garnacho just had a header from 5 centimeters out and he missed the ball. World class Garnacho. I don't know if you got the game on at the same time, but it was a cross by Dalot. Garnacho was this close to the goal. This is Garnacho, and he just missed the ball like this. But yeah, rest. The point about rest. If they can't step up, they're not Liverpool level. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I think the other concern is, to a certain degree, we're not in any other competitions right now. There's no FA Cup. There's no Champions League, which is probably why I'm gonna have to watch the Arsenal game next season. So yeah, hopefully we don't see a repetition of this. Cause I'd be slightly worried. World class Nacho. Yeah. Matty Rob 08. We've got to remember we're 11 points clear, still with 7 games to play. So we're in a good position, but I'm getting very worried. Yeah, I think I'm still okay for now. Purely based on like the maths, because like 11.7 games, I think we'll be okay. But from a performance perspective, I'm semi-concerned because that's quite a few games now where we haven't turned up. PSG game didn't turn up. Newcastle game didn't turn up. The Plymouth game I'll give a pass because it wasn't the first team. But again, Fulham game didn't turn up. I almost feel like this team does a lot better when they're the underdogs. Um, Whereas when we have confidence, then like, oh, PSG will get past PSG, we didn't. Oh, Newcastle will get past we'll get past Newcastle, we didn't. Oh, Plymouth, easy, Plymouth, we'll get past Plymouth, we didn't. And then this week, Arsenal drew, so everyone is saying, oh, Liverpool have got the league easily. So again, when we get confidence, we don't seem to kind of perform. So that's I don't know if that's a mentality thing, but I think that's something um, the coaching staff will need to look into. Um, of course, we're clear of this Arsenal team. I was never scared of them. We'll never be scared. I just need people to start stepping up. Give Chiesa more time. Yeah. Anytime Chiesa does something, I'm happy. He could just walk. He could just walk 1 meter, and I'd be like, that's the best 1 meter I've ever seen. Um, Snuff says no more Nunes. Nunes is basically Uruguay Garnacho. That's a good point. Who would you rather have, Garnacho or Nunes? I'm kind of saying neither, and let's just play with 10. Yeah, I think that's a good point by Matty Rob. Oh wait, I feel like this season, every time I've had belief in the club, we always have a mistake. That's why I try and stay realistic. Yeah, and I think that feeds into the players as well. Like whenever the media narrative is, "Oh, Liverpool have got this, Liverpool have got it," then we always mess up. But when there's pressure, we seem to perform better. And we even saw that in the game just now, the Fulham game. There was just a cross by Garnacho. I thought he was going to do something. He didn't. But in the Fulham game, like we only seem to turn on for the last 5 minutes. So it's getting a bit annoying. We have been screaming for help for Salah for so long, and we get Nunes. Yeah, well, that was the plan. That Salah was going to become more of an assister. So I remember Pep Linders. He converted Salah to like a very wide forward for Nunes to get the goals, but then it didn't happen. None of them. All I'll say is we have to win against West Ham. Like that feels like a non-negotiable for me. Yeah, yeah, 100%. Is that next Sunday? I think the West Ham game. Um, but yeah, thankfully we're at home. Thankfully we're at home. I shouldn't be saying that, but thankfully we're at home. So hopefully we should see something better. This game should have been a win to all these mid-table teams. We're playing another mid-table team towards the end of the season, Arsenal. So I'm hoping when we play that mid-table team, the league is wrapped up so they can give us a nice guard of honour. All these mid-table teams should be wins, yeah. Should be wins or at the very least get something from it. But of course we can't draw too many games, but yeah. I don't think it's acceptable to go down to let them score 3 goals. I know a lot of that was on Robertson and mistakes and so forth, but even then, it's like, come on, we're losing our minds here. We wait the whole weekend to watch Liverpool, so nothing on the Saturday. We sit down on Sunday and then they turn up with that. Sinus says, yeah, Van Dijk back-to-back mistakes. Konate big oof today, and Robertson so trash. Matty Robertson, yeah, Konate is not great. He annoys me so much. Yeah, there might be some discussion around Konate this summer, because Konate's only got 1 year left on his contract, and I really don't want us to get into that position again where we're like, is Konate gonna sign? Is Konate not gonna sign? So I'll be interested to see what happens with Konate in the summer. Synosis say Konate needs to step up. We definitely need 2 centre backs, especially if we're selling Kwanzaa Gomez. Yeah, I think I'm like the sole participant in the Gomez defense league. I quite like Joe Gomez purely for his versatility, but we can improve on Gomez. Matty Rob 08 says, I just feel like Konate is made to look good because of Verge, but because Verge was lazy today, he was showing up. I think Konate is good. He does kind of have very good attributes. Physically very good, very quick, but he does have more bozo moments. He has more bozo moments than Virgil, so I think that's something he needs to work on. Um, Glitzy Goblin FR of first chat. Hope you're doing good. Colin Kanatayas is playing dumb. He's been insane. The players are tired. They're not robots. I think that's a good point as well. In the last few games, the players have looked a lot more jaded and a lot more tired. Like the tiredness, it kind of fell off a cliff in the last month or so. So this is something perhaps the coaching staff can look at in the summer. I think part of the reason for it is it seems that Slot only likes a few players, and so he repeatedly plays the same players. So he repeatedly plays Gravenberch and so forth. So what I'm hoping to see is when Slot gets his own players in, we will perhaps see a bit more rotation next year. And therefore, when we see a bit more rotation, hopefully we'll see less tiredness, because we'll see players getting a bit more of a break. We'll see players playing 60 minutes instead of 90 minutes. And then what I'm hoping is I'm hoping we don't see a repetition of this going forward. And then Snus says we need to buy at least 2 centre backs this year. We are now heavily linked to Hincape. Okay, Huijsen and Hincape. Yeah, I'm really excited and intrigued about Huijsen. I didn't know he was just 19. I thought he was a bit older. I think we were discussing the other day. We looked up the age and we said, "Why is 19?" He's someone to get very excited about. The only thing I'm kind of slightly concerned about is that Real Madrid are interested in him. So I don't know if we'll get him, but if we can, I'd be a bit excited. I know he's very young. He's still a teenager. He's 20 next week. I think next Monday, not tomorrow. I think next Monday he's 20. It's kind of sad that I know that, but I know that because we looked it up. Like, I don't have Huijsen posters. Like, I got a Star Wars poster, but that's it. I don't have Huijsen posters. But yeah, very young. If we got him, I wouldn't be complaining. Glitzy Goblin FR says, yeah, hopefully. Matty Rob says, bro, why is this derby the battle of the mid? Both teams are shocking. Yeah, to be honest, I'm sometimes just looking over. Like, I got the game down here, but like this chat is more interesting than the game. To be honest, like I've got it on this laptop over here, but like I'm just reading through the chat. So what can I do? It's more entertaining. And then Snus says, because both Manchester clubs are trash. Yeah, they are. They are trash. All too true. Matty Rob says. Matty Rob is saying, I had the game on and I just saw that last United attack and just switched it off. Yeah, it was that bad. You were like, you know what, I'm done with this lot. I don't blame you. I am like that sometimes with international football. I'm like, God, these lot are boring me. I'm just wasting my time. I'd rather go for a walk outside. Sinus says, welcome to the Garnacho show. Yeah. Yeah, he's I don't see the fascination with Garnacho. I mean, he's fine. He's okay. But to the levels that people hype him up, I don't think he's all that. Matty Rob says, honestly, was wasting my time there. Yeah. I don't blame you. If I wasn't like doing like a watchalong, and I use the word watchalongs in inverted commas because I'm not even commenting on the game. But if I wasn't doing this, like if this was a few months ago, I'd be like, okay, boring. I'm going to do something else. Snus says, world-class Garnacho, the next Cristiano Ronaldo, yeah. What is Garnacho's nationality? Is he Portuguese or what is he? I don't even know. I'm going to Google it. Oh, he's Argentine. Okay, I'd expect a bit more for an Argentine player. Argentinian, yeah. Well, when he's competing with the best Argentinian in the league, no one really cares about the other Argentinians. Crossing, cleared. Smicky Stan in the chat. Hello. Says yo bro, you need a mod for your Twitch. I think okay for now. But maybe in the future. I need to kind of understand like how that whole thing works. I think I've only really been kind of streaming for like a month or so. But yeah, definitely something I need to perhaps think about in the future. Um, Snus says played with both Messi and CR7. Did he? So Messi for oh yeah, of course. So Messi for Argentina, and CR7 at United. Yeah, I guess he didn't learn much from them, based on what we're seeing. Um, Matty Rob says, "Who's the City number 75? He was genuinely awful when I was watching." Nico, I was about to Google it, but Smith has answered Nico O'Reilly. Yeah, not great. Smicky Stant says, "All right, I get you." Yeah, it might be something in the future. I think. Thankfully, everyone here is pretty nice. Everyone kind of gets along, so that's pretty good. I see sometimes like on YouTube, people are like fighting and people are saying like some nasty things. Like, I don't mind people saying their opinion, but like sometimes, yeah, sometimes people go a bit too far. But yeah, still 0-0. I think that's Gundogan, Kovacic. Both these teams look so bad. Like Kovacic just passed it like a meter to John Stones, and he still missed. He still missed John Stones. Matty Robbo 8 says, "Cheers, man. Those youngsters are getting out of hand." Yeah, City are pulling out quite a few kind of youngsters recently. Yeah, he's at the left back then, Nico O'Reilly. He's currently on the left hand side, as far as I can see, number 75. Nico O'Reilly was the reason for the last 2 or 3 City wins. He's not that bad. He's actually stepping up for them. Okay, so maybe he's decent. Is he like their left back, Nico O'Reilly? Because he's currently on the left there. I thought he might be their Kyle Walker replacement, but I guess not. Matty Rob, oh wait, my shock when this ends 0-0. This has got 0-0 like written all over it. Like even the chances they're creating are like rubbish chances, kind of half chances, and it's like yeah, this is not gonna be the best use of 1.5 hours. Yeah, left back, offensive left back. Okay. Hopefully City do something. Because Man United are still playing their weird little kind of 3 at the back Ruben Amorim formations. I'm hoping City can expose it. But as we were kind of discussing earlier, there's no Haaland. They have got De Bruyne there, so De Bruyne is leaving Man City at the end of the season. So that'll be interesting to see where De Bruyne goes. Maybe Saudi or something. City just playing it around the back. Again, very slow build-up play. That's the only way I can describe it. It's like very slow. You know what I mean? Matty says, if anything, City will get lucky with a Foden tap-in or something, but the quality hurts my head. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that happening. It's just like a lot of the ball just like staying in the middle. And then City try and do something and they mess it up. And then United get the ball. And then United keep the ball around the middle. And then United try and do something. And then United mess it up. And it's like boring as hell. Here's number 75 on the ball, O'Reilly. Marmoush, I bet, will score today. Yeah, Marmoush is someone with a bit of quality. Hopefully Marmoush can do something. as the second best Egyptian in the league. Matty is saying it's fully pinball football. The fall from both teams must be studied. Yes, it does need to be studied. It's like, you know, those kind of books that, like the collapse of the Roman Empire, the collapse of this empire. You could probably write a book of a similar size on these two. This literally looks like a mid-table fixture. You're right. Whereas if you see like a Bournemouth or a Brighton or like a Forest, it's like, okay, these are energetic teams with energetic players and players who kind of want to put an effort in. But with these guys, like if it was just like plain blue shirts versus plain red shirts, you didn't know who was who, you'd say this was like a mid-table clash. Sinus says, Marmoush, I bet will score today. Yeah, bit of quality. Oh yeah, I said that, and about the pinball football. I'm so mad we didn't go with for Marmoush. Yeah, he's got a bit of quality about him. I wasn't convinced that he'd work in the Premier League, but he seems to be doing pretty good. Seems to be doing all right. Yeah, the camera's just going to the fans in the crowd, and even they look pretty bored with what they with what they're seeing. Again, City can't pass the ball 2 yards. City are trying to build up now with Kovacic. Oh, they're trying, but they're not. They're not doing. Matty Rob 08 says, I normally enjoy watching the Manchester derby because it's normally quite interesting. It is normally quite interesting, and in recent years as well, it's been very interesting. But yeah, as you said there, but this is the first in a while I couldn't care about. I'm with you on that. It's slow. Both teams are playing like teams who have nothing to play for, if you know what I mean. Gundogan with a decent shot there, just wide. So that was a bit of something. And then Snus mentioned that we could have sold Nunes for 70-75 this January and bought Marmoush in, but nope, yeah. That's something that irks me a little bit. I'm slightly worried that Nunes price was like a one-time thing, because it was January, and typically in January it's harder to get players. So I'm a bit worried it was like a one-time price, and in the summer we won't get a similar price again. But you're right, we could have sold and got someone else. I understand why they didn't sell him, because they didn't want to take a significant risk, but like, what risk is it? Because like, what's Nunes going to do? He's done nothing since then, so probably should have done that. Matty Rob 08 says, right, maybe a stupid question, but is it bad to look forward to other teams' derbies like Arsenal Chelsea, or a more weird one like Everton United, because they are just scrappy games? No, I think that's a fair point. I think it's a fair point. Some derbies are more interesting than others. Like Arsenal Chelsea can be good, Spurs Chelsea can be good. But I guess it just depends on the teams, and I think it depends on where the teams are at this particular moment in time. Right now, it'd probably be quite interesting to watch Spurs, because they're kind of imploding. I don't know if you heard Ange said, I've lasted here 2 years, which is pretty good for Spurs. He's like, why are you saying that? You're just gonna annoy everyone. So yeah, right now it's quite interesting to watch Spurs, because they're kind of imploding. And then Snus says, if you just want to see the old derby kick the crap out of each other, I hate LFC versus Everton derby. It's always a cagey game, and Everton get like a Zenkai boost against us. Like Everton will play rubbish for the 5 games before, and then against us they'll be at 200%, and then they'll play rubbish for the next few games. Granted, they got a draw against Arsenal yesterday, but even then. I'm so used to see Everton player get away with everything. It's so annoying. Yeah, that Tarkovsky challenge is still annoying me, and it's been a week. Um, Especially how PGMOL they come out. They come out a day later saying, "Yeah, that should have been a red card." You know, if Liverpool had lost that game, or if Liverpool had drawn that game, they wouldn't, PGMOL wouldn't say that. They'd say, "Oh, we're going to do an inquiry. There's going to be an inquiry and then we'll come back to you with the inquiry in 3 months." That's what they would have done. They would have waited for tensions to kind of cool down and they would have announced it 3 months later. But because Liverpool won, they announced it straight away that, "Oh, yeah, it should have been a red card." It's like, sort yourselves out. Um, Matthew Rob 08 says, "Spurs hate watching is beautiful these days." Yeah, it's beautiful watching Spurs have a breakdown, and it's beautiful watching Ange have a nervous breakdown on the side of the pitch. Tarkovsky and Pickford, yeah. I dislike play. Pickford is one of the reasons like I can't support England when when it's the Euros. It's like I hate Pickford like for 4 years in a row. I can't suddenly support him in the Euros. I'm sorry. I just find it very difficult. My underrated shout, but I love Everton United sometimes because both teams are awful, but Everton just step up and it's so cagey. You never know what's gonna happen. Yeah, it's like both teams are rubbish, so they both it becomes quite a cagey affair. Because I think against Liverpool, Everton know that Liverpool are a lot better, so Everton just sit back, as we saw the other day. Everton sit back the entire game. Hopefully they get a counter, so they can whack the ball up to Beto, and then hopefully Beto scores. Whereas against United, I think Everton know, okay, United are a similar level. Let's give it a good go. So that makes for a more interesting game, naturally. Pickford versus Nunes, yeah. Bernardo Silva, he just tripped up Fernandez, and then Fernandez went down like he'd been shot. So no surprise there. So Maguire starting, which I wasn't expecting. United trying to beat City's press. They just pass it right back to City. Exactly what we were saying earlier. United tried to progress the ball forward, but eventually they just pass it straight back to City. It's just funny to watch, isn't it? It's funny to watch and it's amusing to watch. Casemiro and Ugarte. Ugarte can't pass for the life of him. You're right there. He's definitely like more of a ball winning defensive midfielder. So he's decent at tackling, but yeah, cannot pass in the slightest. He's the opposite to Paul Scholes in some ways. Paul Scholes could pass. Paul Scholes could not tackle. Ugarte is the opposite in a bit of some ways. And Casemiro so slow. Oh god, Casemiro is so slow. He's so slow, and they're paying him like 350 grand a week for that. What a duo in the middle. He's a destroyer, same as Palhinha. What happened to Palhinha? Did he go to Bayern or something? Yeah, he did go to Bayern. Yeah. I remember there was talk that we might be in for him. But yeah, he perhaps wasn't the right profile. I think in terms of the defensive midfielders that slot likes, he likes kind of ball players more. Not to say there isn't a place for a ball winner. We have our own one in Endo, but Endo's passing is okay. I think Endo's passing is okay. Sitting on the bench like Gravy was, yeah. That's the thing with Bayern on their bench. I think you're right with what you said there. Palhinha would have worked with under Klopp, because I think Klopp liked I think from what I remember, Klopp liked that ball winner, like a Fabinho, like even an Endo. So Endo was the starting DM last year. So you switch out Endo for Palhinha, could have worked. But yeah, you're right. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work under Slot. Slot likes more kind of progressive ball players, that sort of thing. So yeah, you're definitely right on that. Fabinho destroyer, yeah. Fabinho was a destroyer, but also decent at passing. But yeah, primarily very good tackler, very good ball winner as well, I'd say. So 2 minutes of injury time, which are up. You can see how much I was paying attention to that game. I was 2 minutes of injury time, and then he blew the whistle. Palhinha would be the closest DM to Fabinho, yeah. Similar sort of profile, which I think that's perhaps that's perhaps why there were so many rumors about Palhinha last year. Was it last year? I think it was 2 years ago, or was it last year? I can't remember. But yeah, it seems our other midfield. Was it 2 years ago? God, time flies, man. I was like, was it last year or 2 years ago? But 2 years ago, yeah. There were a lot of rumors around Palhinha. We were linked to Ugarte a lot. I remember when Ugarte was at Sporting. Was that 2 years ago? Wow. Okay, so last 1 year ago was Zubamendi and all of that, I guess. But yeah, 2 years ago. Linked with Ugarte, linked with Palhinha, linked with others. And then I think we ended up getting nobody. No, that was when we got Endo and Szoboszlai and the others. Yeah, I guess. Oh yeah. So Zubamendi, Edison, Alan Varela, I think from Porto. Yeah, these were the guys that we were linked with. I really hope we get some sort of defensive midfield. I don't want to say cover. I want to say competition for Gravenberch. I don't want to back up to Gravenberch. I want someone who can challenge Gravenberch and play at a similar level when Gravenberch is not available, or something that allows us to make use of rotation a bit better. Andre, he was another one. Andre from Fluminense was also linked at the same time with Ugarte, and then ended up going to Fulham or something. But yeah, defensive midfield has been a position which we really need to sort. Slot used his kind of brains and his tactical nous to put Gravenberch there, but I still think we need a defensive midfielder. It doesn't necessarily have to be, as I was saying, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a Super Bowl winner, but just some sort of a competition for Gravenberch would be nice. Ugarte at Sporting. Yeah, that was it. Ugarte was at Sporting. Was when we got linked, not when we was at PSG. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was it. Ugarte was at Sporting, and we were saying that, look, he's a good ball winner. He's not too expensive either. So from a transfer fee perspective, I think he was in that £50 million range. So not too expensive. Wages probably not crazy as well. So yeah, I was surprised we didn't go for him, but it is what it is, I guess. Yeah, 40 to 50-ish, yeah. Yeah, that's that's roughly our price range. He was poor at passing the ball, But we wanted that destroyer in the middle. That's why we got linked to Palhinia. Yeah, you're right. I remember now. Um, we were kind of highly dependent on destroyers back then. To be fair, Klopp did get his destroyer. Like, he did get his destroyer. It was just Endo. But yeah, Klopp liked having a destroyer in the middle. Even before Fabinho, you could argue that Jordan Henderson was the destroyer. And then going back maybe 15 years, we had Mascherano. Mascherano was a destroyer. Mohamed Sissoko, he was a destroyer. So there's a long history of destroyers at the club. Yeah, I'd love to keep Endo. Yeah, Endo's definitely one I really want to keep, because like we ain't gonna get much money for him. What would you get? Like 10 million max. And even if you were to get 10 million max, what can we do with 10 million? Nothing. You can't do nothing with 10 million these days. I'd rather we just kept Endo around, to be honest. No longer 26 unbeaten streak. And now we got a loss away and away and home. Yeah, so annoyed. Yeah, unfortunate. But I guess now people can't always complain about the Nottingham Forest game, because now there's another one. The good news is I seem to have fixed the issue with the lag. I know I say that every week, but I think I've fixed it. Like my CPU's like very low. I'm on Twitch and I'm on YouTube, and it's working fine. So I think I've fixed it. So annoyed. This is why we need to start playing good football in the first half. Yes. This is why we need to be awake in the first half. Sometimes as well, I don't know if you feel like we only kind of suddenly wake up when the other team scores. But yeah, we not happy. I'm more annoyed that we conceded 3 goals than I am that we lost. As weird as it sounds, it's like, how are you letting in 3 goals? I need to rewatch the goals later because I was having the issues earlier with the network and the stream. But yeah, I need to rewatch. Mistakes happen, but we should be able to counter the mistakes. Yeah, 100%. They're just showing him Garnacho's chances again going wide. Pretty funny. Matty Rob says, Christ, I just went for a shower and the game's still 0-0. You did. It is, and I can confirm you missed absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing of any excitement. Absolutely nothing was missed. In fact, I'm jealous that you spent the time having a shower and we had to watch this because nothing happened. Oh God, it was bad. Like, it's definitely better watching teams like Bournemouth and your Brightons and your Nottingham Forest and even your Spurses compared to these guys. So Snos is saying, I don't know why he insists to keep on playing a finished Robertson. I just don't know why. Yeah, I guess the argument for Robertson has always been that he's very good defensively. He's very, very good defensively, but like even defensively these days, he's got quite a few mistakes in him. So it's like, what are we getting from him really at this point? Nothing was missed apart from the nothing was missed apart from the goal 17 times, and apart from a 2-yard pass like 53 times. It's the same thing, man, like over and over again. Man United would get the ball, their defenders would pass it to Casemiro. Casemiro would try and pass it forward, intercepted. Then Man City would get the ball. Gundogan would try and pass it forward, intercepted. Just not a great showing for the Manchester teams here. Yeah, Robertson has not been playing good. Hopefully Tsimikas is given a chance in the next game, and hopefully Tsimikas can take that chance. Because this is not it, unfortunately. I rate Tsimikas over Robertson. I'd rather have Tsimikas as a backup option to Kirkes over Robertson. Yeah, I think from a purely footballing perspective, yeah. But I think, like, as I was saying earlier, like, Robertson's whole thing is that he's defensively sound, but he just makes too many mistakes these days. And I'm also getting a bit concerned at his lack of pace. His lack of pace is hurting him seriously. I do think Tsimikas will get sold because he'll have more value. And Robertson's contract is up next year, I think, or the year after. At which point they'll probably release him on a free. But like, it's not good. It's not good. There'll still be people defending Robertson, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Again, we can separate what Robertson used to be and what Robertson is now. Like, Robertson was an amazing left back in the day, but Gerrard was an amazing midfielder back in the day. Souness was an amazing midfielder back in the day. That doesn't mean we want to play Gerrard and Souness now. I think the club will move on. Another thing I noticed, a lot of teams now, they attack down the left-hand side. They don't attack down the right-hand side, which kind of says also that other teams have also caught on to the fact that we're kind of weaker down the left. So yeah, let's see what happens with that. His lack of pace, his lack of everything, he's just so clumsy. That's another one as well. He always hits the first man when he shoots the ball into the box. And I think that Slot has noticed that as well. Because off corner kicks, at the very least, Robertson is not on corner kicks anymore. It's McAllister. And it's on both sides. It's the left side and the right side. It's always McAllister taking it now. So I think Slot has noticed that as well. But obviously when he's when it's not a corner and he's taking, and say he's running down the left and he's taking a corner that way, he still hits the first man. It's a bit annoying. Matty Rob says, I really like Tsimikas. I want to see more of him. Yeah. I think especially after the Robertson performance today, I'm hoping we'll see a lot more of Tsimikas in the next game. Hopefully Tsimikas starts. Robertson just seems to have this kind of cult around him. There's like a cult around Robertson whereby he's the best thing since sliced bread and you can never criticize anything. So hopefully things are better next time around. Snus says, I don't think Tsimikas will start. On a slot, don't rate him. Possibly. We, earlier in the season when Robertson was doing badly, Tsimikas then came in. But then Tsimikas started doing badly and then Robertson came in. I guess it depends. I guess it depends how bad Robertson was in that game. I thought he was particularly bad. but like I need to kind of see it again. Uh, to be fair, I don't think I've seen Robbo get a ball past the first man on a corner in months. You're right. Thinking about it now, he'll take a corner and he'll hit the guy on the near post every single time. So getting him off corners was amazing. We haven't scored a corner in months. So what am I talking about? Yeah, yeah. I think part of that is that the last corner I remember us scoring was Simicast. Was that Simicast who took the corner? Like Simicast came on and it was his first touch and he took a corner and then it was either Jota or Gakpo who scored with their first touch. Um, Last time we scored a corner was against Arsenal. Van Dijk against Arsenal. Yeah, that was Simicast to Jota, and so they both came on just for that corner. So it's Simicast's first touch and like Jota's first touch. But yeah, I would like, especially because we have so much aerial, so much aerial power. We've got Kanate who's gigantic. We've got Van Dijk who's gigantic. We've got Gakpo who's gigantic. Gakpo's the same height as Van Dijk. So I'd like to see us be a bit more threatening from corners. What I don't really understand is how. Oh yeah, yeah. I was just saying that. Yeah. So what I really don't understand is how Virgin Kanate are so good at defending a corner, but just can't do anything in the opposition box when attacking a corner. Yeah, I find that strange as well. I was saying that like a few matches ago. Like, if we're defending a corner, you'll know they head it out. But if we're attacking a corner, they'll get beaten in the air by like Bernardo Silva or something. It's just a bit peculiar, to say the least. Matty is saying, I don't remember the last time we conceded a corner, but I seriously struggle to remember the last 5 corners we scored. Yeah, I remember the last one. I remember that. I say remember. I forgot who scored. I just remembered Simicast took it. But yeah, we don't score enough from corners. I think that's something we need to look at, especially Arsenal. Like in comparison, Arsenal score so many goals from corners. I'd like us to be a bit more threatening from corners. I just love to hear McAllister's laugh. Yeah, he has the purest laugh. It's a bit like that. Matty says, yeah, I remember the Jota one, but I can't think of another one after the Carabao Cup final from Verge. Yeah, there probably hasn't been another one, to be honest. Like, we are the most unthreatening team from corners. I weirdly sometimes prefer it when the other team has the corner, because then if the other team has the corner, Virgil or Konate is gonna head it out, and then we're gonna counter. So weirdly, we look more threatening when the other team has the corner. But speaking of being unthreatening, I think it's a free kick to Man United. Yeah, Snus is saying it right there. We are so dangerous on the counter to their corner. Yeah, so I get more excited when the other team has a corner. Rasmus Højlund is complaining about something. Has he scored yet? I know he's gone like 1,000 games without scoring. I love how you just casually trash on Manx. Yeah, I'm not even deliberately doing it. You know what I mean? I'm just stating this, just stating the facts from this rubbish that we're having to watch. They've got De Bruyne like making runs in from behind, and it's like De Bruyne is like literally like 400 years old now. Like, is there nobody else? Mamouche to Gundogan, De Bruyne to whoever their right back is. It looks like Nunes. Gone out wide to 75. Well, that's what we'll call him now. Just number 75. Guess what? Nothing happened. Man United get the ball back. I think this will be 0-0, you know. A 0-0 loss, not a 0-0 draw. It's a loss for everyone who had to watch this thing. Go on, Ruben Diaz, do something of some use. Passes it to Nunes. Passes it straight back to Diaz. Gvardiol. De Bruyne. Is Fernandez going to do something? Is Casemiro going to do something? Probably not. Passes it to Agate. Dogu? Free kick. Nothing. Oh, God. You're right. If you want to sleep, putting on a Man United game definitely going to make you fall asleep. I'll try rewatching it tonight. Because this is as dull as can be. Come on, Foden. Do something of some use. To De Bruyne. Again, rubbish shot. De Bruyne takes a shot right in the middle of the goal. It's like nothing is going to happen. It's better than a sleeping pill. Put on this trash game and you'll fall asleep. Yeah. Doctors need to start prescribing this game to people. No side effects as well. No side effects, you know. Cheaper to manufacture because it's already manufactured. There's no distribution cost because they could probably email the game, so they don't have to do packaging, don't have to do shipping. Just prescribe this game. Everyone will fall asleep. Don't lie as you saying that. Please don't lie. Oh, I hope that's a joke. I really hope that's a joke. That guy who wanted to sell Salah. I want to sell him. I can't do an Irish accent. I can't. Sounded a bit like Ange there, but he's just doing it for clicks at this point. Who you gonna bench Salah for? And why again? Why is Salah always the scapegoat? Why is like Salah always the scapegoat? Okay, granted he wasn't amazing today, but why is it not time to bench Robertson? I swear he's just Ben Doku's. I think is still at Middlesbrough, but like I think he's just doing this for like he's just doing this for outrage, which he got off me, so that he kind of gets clicks and I don't know likes or yeah, you're right. Anfield agenda is so dumb, man. He's just doing it for reactions. Yeah. Surely he can't think that. It's insane. I'm not gonna watch the video. I don't like subscribe to him. But yeah, if he's doing it for reactions and to get kind of views, then I perhaps understand to a certain degree. But if he's doing this genuinely, I'm like, stop watching football. He should watch Man City versus United instead, so that he can fall asleep and then not put out stupid videos. That's his name, Craig. Matty says he's genuinely doing it to get interactions like comments and people disagreeing, because that makes the video more relevant on the For You page. Okay, makes a bit more sense now. Makes a bit more sense. So he's doing it for money, but like then I don't know. Then I know he probably doesn't care, but then I'd kind of lose respect for the person. Just be like, okay, you're just lying to get money, and then you're just making people argue. It just doesn't sit right. It doesn't sit right with me. Sino says, I agree. All it is, in fairness. Fair point. I think, yeah. I think you're right. So my game is just frozen. Not that that makes any sort of difference. I'll just fix that. You just see it. So I fixed it now. Just Doku coming on. Oh yeah, I bet he has a thing against Salah in the video, but it's definitely more for the monetary thing. Yeah, I think you're right. So I won't react to it because that's kind of what he wants. He changed his opinion about Salah. Foden off. What am I seeing? Yeah, looks like it. No tap in today, unfortunately. But Jeremy Doku's coming on. And Man United are bringing a defender on, because that's what you do when you're 0-0. Maguire's coming off, and he's what's his name? Lindelof's coming on. Bit of a weird substitution, unless Maguire's injured. But I bet you right before this summer transfer, he wants Salah sold again. Probably. But like, if you're saying it's just for clicks, but the thing is, like, again, I'm like, why? I know. I just feel like hating on our own players so that you make money. I just find that weird. Like, if you say your honest opinion and it's controversial, I think that's fine. But then if I say, I don't know, Robertson's the best player ever, or like Sal Van Dijk, don't give Van Dijk a new contract. So, I don't know. I'd find that weird. Pep's lost it. Yeah, Pep is currently one level below Ange on the mental breakdown scale. So yeah, Mamouche going up top. Okay, might see Mamouche get a bit more involved in the game then. Matty's saying, I have no idea how Lindelof is still at this club, the most unnoticed player. Yeah, I think probably nobody wants him. I think nobody wants the guy. That's probably why. Salah had one of the best seasons as corner. Nothing happened. Salah had one of the best seasons ever any Premier League players ever had, but sell Salah. Yeah, just like Again, if it's a controversial view and you actually believe it, I'm fine with that. But if it's a controversial view you don't believe and you're saying that just so people argue so that you get comments and likes, and then I'm like, yeah, I don't really approve of that. Like Hussam, for example, he says controversial things, but he actually believes that. Like, that's his actual opinion. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. Like, fair enough. At least you're being honest. But when people like lie and just to get clicks, I'm like, that's too much. Matty is saying Angie's head is fully gone. I love to say it. I do find it highly amusing. He did like the ear cupping thing to his own fans, and then the goal got disallowed. And then the I've lasted 2 years at Spurs, mate. I've lasted 2 years at Spurs, mate, which is pretty good for Spurs, mate. It's like, why are you saying like I've lasted for 2 years, which is pretty good? Don't say that. Fucking high line, mate. High line, mate. Yeah. Don't you remember what he said after Spurs robbed Liverpool last season? That's the game, and he cries after it happens to him. Yeah. So last season when Jones was sent off, and I think Jota was sent off, and Diaz had a goal disallowed, which was clearly onside, which was so onside to the point where they didn't even draw the lines for VAR. So all those crazy things happened to Liverpool, but still Liverpool bad. Liverpool's still bad. Yeah. Matty saying, ha ha, exactly, lad. Head has completely gone. Yeah, pretty funny to see. I don't want them to sack him just yet because it's quite amusing. It's quite funny to watch, if you know what I mean. So just give him till the end of the season at least. Give us a bit of comedy, because comedy is better than Man City versus United. Lasted 2 years at Spurs. Yeah, it's like, don't say that. It's like saying to a girl, like, oh, at least I lasted 2 years with you, which is more than other people have lasted. It's like, oh my gosh, don't say that! Like, that's literally the worst thing to say. Matty is saying, I don't know if you guys saw Expressions Oozing's reaction, but that's probably the best crash out I've ever seen. I haven't seen it. I will check that out. I do find him quite funny. Is he the one that says fam? He keeps saying fam and he's got like a gap. He's quite funny, yeah. See, that kind of stuff, it's like light-hearted and it's like it's quite genuine. So yeah, I will check that out. Jota, Jones and Diaz robbed and Matip on goal. Yeah, and he's still complaining, mate. Bad luck with Matip. Oh my god, and Neville is so biased that he's not even hiding it these days. Yeah, I can't take that guy seriously. What is he What is he saying now? Is he saying... So it's probably some sort of anti-Liverpool thing, because that's his whole kind of MO at the moment. I love to see Expressions. He's so funny. I always win stuff in my second year, mate. Always in my second year, mate. Did it at Celtic, mate. Did it with Japan, mate. I don't know if it was Japan, mate, but it was some random place, mate. Yeah. I mean, he might win a sacking. He'll win a payout. He will win a compensation payout this year. So I guess he's not lying. He was calling Ange a big fat Aussie car salesman. Gary Neville was calling Ange a big fat Aussie car salesman. Or do you mean Expressions? I hope it was Gary Neville, because that would be funny. Yeah, I just think he's like a big... I think he's a big fat Aussie car salesman. That's actually quite funny. High line, mate. Kangaroo high line, mate. 10 players ahead of the ball, mate. But Ange, we've only got 9 players left. 9 players ahead of the ball, mate. Yeah. Back when Diaz fell on the ball, he literally screamed handball down the mic when it clearly hit his hand. Oh, right, okay. Yeah. No, Expressions did a whole video. Okay. Fat Aussie car salesman's quite funny. I'm gonna watch that. Yeah, 9 players up the line, mate. And if they only had 2 players on the pitch, it'd be like 2 players up the pitch, mate. Free kick though for Man City, about 25 yards out. Marmoush, good free kick, but a good save by Anana. That was a bit better there. Definitely, that was definitely a bit better. Did you hear Ange is Did you hear Ange is falling out of love with the sport? What, does he want to go back to selling cars again? Um, like what? Oh, so because you're not winning, you're falling out of love. Like that just like you hear that from Man United fans saying, "Oh, we don't enjoy football anymore," and it's like, is it what? Is it because you don't win anymore? Like Liverpool fans were supporting Stuart Downing, Liverpool fans were supporting Andy Carroll, Liverpool fans were supporting Maxi Rodriguez, Liverpool fans were supporting Joe Cole. Like just because we weren't winning doesn't mean we stopped following the sport. I mean, it's just crazy. After he retires, he'll start another sport and do the same. High line, mate. Yeah, high line, mate. Like he could start playing snooker, and it would be like, I don't know, 5 balls ahead of the line, mate. Ahead of the queue, mate. Stack those balls over there, mate. Stack the balls on the top of the table, mate. High line, mate. Yeah. He were complaining. Oh right, so he's complaining about VAR. So that's why he's falling out of love. He's against VAR now. He wasn't against it after winning against Liverpool. Yeah. And when there was a controversy surrounding Liverpool, he was saying, "Oh, you gotta respect the refs. Respect the refs, mate." It was all about respecting the refs. But now that it's come back on him, now he's like, "Oh, I don't want to play anymore." It's like, grow up, man. Go back to selling cars. uh, Come on, Bernardo, do something. Come on, Man City. Or Man United. Nah, Man City. Go back to Australia, mate. Bring your high line home, mate. Yeah. Just the high line or nothing else is just amusing, to say the least. It's a yellow card for somebody, not that anyone cares. Oh, it's for Dello. I bet he's got a high line in his backyard so he can yell beside the line. Yeah. And then he'll be falling out of love with the backyard probably. This is why like he can't get sacked. He gives us so many comedy moments. Just keep him around, man. Support the Aussies. I can't think of many other Aussies in football. There was Harry Kewell who played for us, but Harry Kewell, and then what was the other guy for Everton? Tim Cahill. Yeah. But other than that, they've just got Ange. There was the other one, Lucas Nelson or something. Right back, played for... I'm gonna bloody Google him. It was like Lucas Nelson or something, and he was a right back. He played for Blackburn, and then Liverpool were gonna get him, and he went to West Ham. Man City might score here. They don't. Some random VAR will come to his backyard and give him red card and VAR situation, yeah. Falling out of love with gardening, mate. Gonna stay inside from now on, mate. Yeah, I'll be happy today. I suspect there won't be many complaints about refereeing decisions today, mate. I love VAR, mate. And what a guy. Well, that's what he said. That's what he said when decisions were going in favour of him. It was respect the referees, mate. But he's definitely changed his tune now. Ball in. Fernandez beats Doku, passes it to their right back. Rubbish cross, goes to Ugarte. Ooh, decent shot from Ugarte. Just wide though. I need to go see his press conference, yeah. We need to keep Ange around. He brings us so much happiness. Mason Mount is coming on. Xerxes coming on. So Ugarte off for Mason Mount. Xerxes is on for Hoyland. Will these two do anything? Probably not. Very unlikely. Gamer Cal says, can we relegate both Manchester teams? Ideally, yes. Especially after this performance, which has been horrendous. Matty Rob 08 says, you know United have lost their heads when they bring on both Mount and Xerxes, yeah. What are those two gonna do other than commanding a wage to do absolutely nothing? I'm surprised Mount is fit. Oh my god, he said Brennan Johnson is always a goal threat, mate. Yeah, not so much. Ooh, Man United countering though with everyone's favourite Argentine. Goes back to the Argentine. Argentine loses the ball. I'm not even gonna call him Garnacho anymore because I know nothing's gonna happen. Let's be honest with this. Grealish is coming on. Grealish is coming on after the goal that he got in the previous game. Maybe Grealish can do something. The thing is that Doku's already on the pitch, so I don't know where Grealish would come on. Would he perhaps come on for Bernardo Silva or maybe for De Bruyne? I don't know if De Bruyne is still on. Come on, Man City. You can do it. Even again, it's like, why are you passing it around the defence? Like, move it forward. Again, De Bruyne takes a pass, and he just passes it out. Like, has De Bruyne ever been that bad from a passing perspective? Gotta respect the Mount tactic. Gotta respect the Mount tactic. Go to United for a bag. Take the iconic number 7 shirt worn by Ronaldo, George Best and so forth, to be injured for years and do literally nothing. Yeah. What more can you say? There were some people that wanted him to come to Liverpool, so I'm pretty glad he didn't. But Yeah, he could write a book on how to make the bag. Are you happy the automatic offside is coming next week? I don't know, mate. Good old Ange. We had to wait 5 minutes for a VAR situation, mate. If you asked me that years ago, I wouldn't believe you, mate. He is a funny guy. Highly, highly amusing. 20 odd minutes left of this game. To be fair, he literally learnt from the master Luke Shaw. That man sits in the canteen that's falling down and has got holes in the roof, getting paid 100k to eat cheesecake. I mean, he's living the dream to a certain degree. Perhaps not, perhaps not a footballing perspective, but yeah. Don't worry though. Ratcliffe will fire some of the receptionist staff, and Ratcliffe will fire Barbara, who works in the canteen, and that will cover the wages that they're paying. Hopefully, he's investing some money. Well, let's hope so on that. Doku versus Delo. Not taking long before these players are homeless or struggling here. Yeah, what they're doing at that club is crazy. Like just firing like the receptionists and people who have worked there for years. And it's like, how much money are you really gonna save from a receptionist on, I don't know, 30 grand a year compared to a player on 300 grand in 1 week? It's just crazy, man. Ratcliffe will sack himself to pay Luke Shaw at this rate, yeah. It's just a complete mess of the club, but that makes me really happy. Mason Mount with a shot blocked. Corner. I remember the crash out from United fans when he went to the Aussie Grand Prix saying he can sack the canteen staff but can sit in the Merc garage. Yeah, he's a bit out of touch, it seems. I know players get a lot of media training, but perhaps he needs a bit of media training for some of the things that he says. Old Trafford is falling down. Do Amorim. Yeah, Glazer's staying 10 more years. Do. What a mess. I can't think of one positive thing about that club, to be honest. Xerxes with the shot, but again, the shot is played straight at Edison. Mant goes for a shot, gets blocked as well. Man City countering though. De Bruyne. Okay, De Bruyne with a good pass to Doku on the left. Doku running at Mazraoui. Doku cuts inside, but again, poor pass intercepted. Argentinian winger now. Argentinian winger. Is the Argentinian winger going to do something? He doesn't. He hits it wide. Overrated as hell. There's two balls on the pitch, so Fernandez is getting rid of one of them. Corner now by Fernandez. And absolutely nothing of any interest happens. Fernandez whips it back in. Nothing happens. Kovacevic seems to have killed someone. Is it Casemiro? It is Casemiro. Casemiro's lying on the floor holding his leg whilst Kovacevic laughs at him. Can't wait to see a 0-0 and KDB getting man of the match for his last derby, yeah. That does feel like something that would happen. It reminds me when Ryan Giggs got the PFA Player of the Year like 10 years ago, even though he did nothing. It was just because he was retiring and they gave it to him. They always like show the Man United players like in the crowd. So they show Schmeichel, they show Cantona, and they all just sitting there just shaking their heads. This is awful. Schmeichel looks like he's about to cry. That makes me happy. Matty is saying leave the football before the football leaves you. Yeah, I think Carragher was right when he said that. He kind of did him a bit dirty a little bit, but it's Casemiro. I don't care, so I find it funny. Yeah, I hope they fail to sell Casemiro and they've got to put up with him for another year. That's kind of Man United's whole deal the past few years. They just buy big name players who are at the wrong end of their career. So they did it with Casemiro. They did it with Rafael Varane. Like they let Real Madrid get the best out of them. And then when Real Madrid want to get rid of them, Real Madrid know that Man United will pay us 70 million, and then they just take advantage of them. Football Historia uploaded a video called Argentina's national team is terrifying with a picture of Julian Alvarez, okay, Lautaro Martinez, I guess, Inter striker, Enzo Fernandez, and the big guy, little Cristiano Ronaldo, calling himself Garnacho. Well, where's McAllister? They need to stick McAllister in that. Yeah, Garnacho just feels like one of those players who gets hyped up to be better than he is because he's from Argentina, I think. Like, if he wasn't from Argentina, he wouldn't have anywhere near this level of hype. Again, man, the same thing. Like Drogu to Fernandez. Fernandez loses the ball. Matty Rob. Oh wait, I've been saying this for so long. United fan bigging up these big signings. They're just bench players being pushed out by mid players. Just look at De Ligt, the fraud. Yeah, you're right. This is their thing. Man United don't seem to have like a competent scouting department or a competent strategy or a competent way of playing. Like, just if you're like a famous player and you're available, they'll buy you. Like, sort of with Varane. Mason Mount would be another one. Casemiro, Anthony, Ronaldo, even to a certain degree. Like, I mean, just look at Lenny Euro now. I mean, he was hyped up to be like such a kind of big deal, and now he's probably regretting the move as well. McAllister's not part of that. Alright, so he wasn't part of that squad. And he got pushed out for Dyer. Yeah, in terms of De Ligt, yeah. Again, like a weird signing. Man United very rarely sign like an unknown player. which to me says they just go for they just look on FIFA who's got the most points, and just kind of go sign those. Nothing terrifying about McAllister. Yeah, he's probably the most unterrifying player, I guess. He seems too friendly, especially with that laugh. Once you hear that laugh, you'll be like, yeah, there's nothing to be concerned about here. He probably was, but you know, he's a LFC player. Can't be terrifying then, yeah. Goes to Drogu now on the left. Drogu, cleared. I'm so happy we didn't sign Euro. He's so gangly, literally like WASDs controlling for his limbs. Yeah, somebody's using keyboard and mouse to control the bloody guy. Unfortunately, I think like more young players will go to them purely for the money. But it's like, yeah, he doesn't look the most mobile. Like he looks average at best, and even that's putting it nicely. 5 minutes of normal time left, thankfully. Somehow managed to stay awake, but don't know how. Man United now, trying an attack. Oh, what a surprise, it gets defended by Man City. This has been one of the worst games I've ever seen. Man City attack. Oh, what a surprise, Man United get the ball back. This is horrendous. Matty is saying, I was thinking about this though. Recently, like you'll never see a City rebuild anymore with big money because these big players use teams like Newcastle, who are throwing money at the project as a stepping stone to go to a bigger club like us. Could be a change. It could be a change in mentality there. I think especially with all these kind of charges around Man City, even if they're proven innocent, they'll always kind of have that tag. So I think, yeah, instead of going to Man City, they could kind of go to the Newcastles and go to these kind of types of clubs, and then make a step up to a proper team. It'd be interesting to see where City are in a few years, because based on this, he ain't looking good. Ball in from Fernandez and headed out by Guardiola. Corner to United. Not that anything will happen. Corner by Fernandez. Cleared out. What a surprise. Always a surprise. Amarim looks really angry. He should be angry at himself. He left a perfectly acceptable job at Sporting to come and try and fix this mess. De Bruyne to Nunes. Back to De Bruyne. I was just thinking, oh my god, I haven't updated the score. And then I realized there's been no goals, so I don't need to update the score. When is he ever happy? Yeah. He seemed a lot happier at Sporting, but since he's come over, I think he regrets the decision. Lisbon's a pretty nice city as well. Nunes loses the ball. And Man United players on the floor. Well, if he's on the floor, hopefully he's going to sleep, because there's no point him being awake for the remaining 5 minutes. I'm actually yawning now. Like, I'm actually yawning at this game. Yeah. I don't know what Man United fans expect, but even if they buy a bunch of players, this stuff ain't getting better next year. Like, this is not improving. Xerxes now. Xerxes is going to try something, but I'm not even going to watch it because I know nothing's going to happen. Oh, God. Just highly amusing, isn't it? Three minutes left of this painful game. Is it a corner or is it a goal kick? Who knows? And I'm sure nobody cares. Because both outputs will result in the same end result. Is it over? Mine's still 1 minute behind, but like, there's no point. I might just turn it off now if it's finished. Yeah, I'd rather watch paint dry. I'd rather do anything than watch these two. Somebody predicted a 0-0, and that person was correct. Okay, it's over. Okay, well, I'm not even gonna bother watching this. This is closed now. I'm not gonna finish watching the last minute. So yeah. Well, thanks everyone for keeping us all entertained rather than watching that horrible match. I'll be back on Tuesday So I'll just put that in here. Back on Tuesday for Arsenal versus Madrid. Thanks all. Thanks Snus. Thanks Pixelated Suits. Thanks Matty Rob. 08. Thanks to everyone. Gamer Cal. See how far it lets me scroll. Yeah. What a great game to snooze off to. Yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna go eat now because I'm starving. But yeah, hopefully see you guys next time. Cheers.